All right, tonight's Midnight Sizzle, just a quick rant session, okay? So we're all underneath this like coronavirus quarantine bullshit. I mean, masks on, people sanitizing everything. The whole world's falling apart. There's no toilet paper. Yet our children are expected to go to school, okay? So I have children. I have two girls who are on elementary school, okay? So in the midst of all this huge crisis, the world's falling apart, global pandemic, whatever it's called, they want to go to school. So it's all done online. Okay, so it's done online through the Hillsborough County school system. And you have to have a computer, a phone, a printer, and some sort of internet access. Okay, well, got it. Some households don't. Low socioeconomic classes don't. I mean, online schooling out the window for them. But then if you have all these things, you have to know they're like student IDs, student lunch numbers, how to log in. Okay, get it? Cool. Got an email, got that on there. And then after you do all that, you have to go to different websites, okay? So in Hillsborough County, you have to go to multiple websites. So just for these kids to go online school, they have to learn how to sign up for Spot, Edsby, Clever, MyOn, Iready, this other site, this other STEM site, there's like 500 different sites. I'm not joking. I mean, there's at least 6 sites that I can think of just when what I named, and including Zoom meetings. So the teachers want to set up these things called Zoom meetings and have the kids log in at a certain time every single day to do Zoom meetings. And then you have to have a printer and you have to print up like packets. Like I have a packet over here that's print. It's like about this thick for a 3rd grader full of work. And it's a lot of work and it's a lot of websites. And what it is a 3rd grader, they can't do this work on their own. They can't log into these websites on their own. There's so many websites that I, as an adult, someone who's been on a computer since like 1994 with the internet, I can't even do it. So, okay, so there's like so many websites. There's a school website, there's an Edsby, there's a MyOn, there's a Clever portal, there's more things right here. There's an academy, there's the teachers pages, there's these math things. There's so much. And these are just 2 of the websites, including Zoom. And I can't even navigate it as an adult. And then there's all these PowerPoint presentations and all these things. And this is for like a 3rd grader and a 1st grader. So in the middle of this like global crisis, to have the parents do all this busy work, setting all this up, is ludicrous, okay? So while we're out in the grocery stores trying to find food because there is none, trying to find meat because there is none, and trying to find toilet paper because there is none, when you go to Walmart, like the shelves are barren and everyone's like freaking out, sanitizing everything, wearing masks, and you have to do this, then it takes away from that. And then parents who still have to work through this, the essential workers and people who are at home, who have to take on this responsibility for their children at this time. That's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot of work. And what we need to do is simplify the education system. And that's like my huge rant tonight. I'm actually stressed out thinking about how I'm going to print up all this work and get my kids to do it. In the meantime, get them to Zoom meetings and figure out how all these websites work and how to turn things in and where things go. It's a mess. And I went to online college. I have a master's of education, okay? So yeah, I have a master's of education degree. I went to online college, and our college that we went to is just one site, and then of course you get your books, or if you want to use your ebook or however you do it. But we didn't have to do that. We didn't log into 6 different sites. It's very stressful. And I can imagine if Hillsborough County is as stressful, how it must be like throughout the nation, because Florida is actually kind of more technologically advanced than some of the other states. So I can imagine that must be stressful to have all these different websites to log into, packets of papers to print, don't know what to do. Everyone's heads are falling off in the midst of all this. And so that's my biggest rant about the education system right now in this country, is if all this is happening, should we really be worried about how we're logging in to submit these things for our kids and Zoom meetings and everything else? And I get that education's great, kids should be going to school, but in a situation like this, making it hard and making this harder than it needs to be with all these different websites. Not cool at all. What are your thoughts on this? Are your kids going to online school? What is your setup like? Do you guys have like all these things like MyOns and Spots and Edsby's and Clevers, Schoologies and all these different websites and Google Voice numbers and Zoom meetings that you have to set up for your children, or is it simplified? Maybe it's just in our district and that it's just a lack of planning overall, that we have like 7 or 8 different websites and criterias and all these weird things going on, but it's just too much. It's overwhelming. It's over my head. I just can't do it. It's stressing me out. I'm actually stressed out. So there's my Midnight Sizzle. Like and subscribe. Tell me what's going on in your area.